Welcome, this is Cactus Core, and today we're not playing anything.
Right, we noticed that you guys seem to really like our One Marvelous Scene, and we're doing something more in that vein, even though it's not about movies.
Right, it's still video game related, and that's fine. We're this is off the cuff, not scripted, but I mean we've got our lists. You've seen the video title, you know what this is. We've got our lists already planned out that we don't know each other's lists. We tried to do something similar to this recently, but that was about TV shows and got taken down immediately. So we're going to try to be a little better about this one. Hopefully it'll actually stay up. And this is actually going to be a 7-part series. We're going to do a video for each generation, and we each have a top 3 Pokemon from that generation that we're going to cover.
Now, to make sure, we laid down some rules just to make sure that we're all clear and on the same page. We're talking about individual Pokemon, not the Pokemon line.
Right.
So if you like Charmander, that's great, but that only covers Charmander, not Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard.
Right.
So, and it could be for any reason whatsoever. We're not specifically talking about the show, or the movies, or the games, or the cards.
Right. These aren't the best Pokemon. These aren't like the Pokemon with the best stats or the most competitive, viable, whatever. These are the ones that we like the best for whatever reason.
Right. Maybe because it's cute, maybe because we have an odd memory of it, just whatever.
Right.
Alright, so, and we did rank them.
Yes.
From 3, 2, 1.
Right.
We're going to go in that order.
Right. So today is Kanto.
Yes.
Good old Gen 1, red, blue, yellow, and a little bit of gold and silver.
We'll skip a lot of this intro as the further episodes.
Sure. You'll kind of get the gist. We'll just put it in a playlist, and you can just watch it one after the other.
Right. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go first.
Alright.
My number 3 Pokemon for Gen 1 is going to be Mr. Mime.
Okay.
For a very specific reason. In the card game, the cards that I have, he had a special ability, so it didn't cost any energy or whatever. Just activated it. And if it was like 30 attack or over, it did not touch him.
Right.
He just, magic mirrored that shit and boom, nothing happened. And I abused the shit out of that when I was playing the card game.
Right.
Because I got into the cards well before I got into the actual video games. And yeah, that's why. I like his character design. I think he was the best part of Detective Pikachu. I fucking love Mr. Mime. I don't care.
I think he's weird. I always found it funny that Ash's mom had a Mr. Mime.
Yeah.
And I had that episode on VHS back in the day, so I watched that one a lot.
Fair enough. What about your number 3?
My number 3 is... I don't even need to look at this, I know it. It's Cubone.
Good choice.
I've always been really... I don't know, attached to the Cubone and Marowak family. I tend to use them a lot in my playthroughs of the games. Even though they're not exactly the best ground types I can go with, anyway. Back in Red and Blue, I used Sandslash as my ground type, and he was ridiculous. But for some reason, I really am attached to Cubone. I really like the art that comes about for Cubone, because it tends to be pretty sad, whatever. And I always really kind of appreciated that. Plus, it was one of the more interesting Pokemon from the first generation in general, because he actually had plot points that happened in the game that made him a little more interesting than the rest of them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, I really like that. And then Pokemon Origins as well. What a tear-jerking scene in that part. Have you seen Pokemon Origins?
No.
It's pretty good. You should probably watch those. You'll like it.
Okay. I know if my mom was making this list, Cubone would be her number 1.
Right.
And she would stop there. She just fucking loves Cubone.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Cubone is by far my favorite one to play as in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue. I always go back and just reset 1,000 times until I get Cubone, because A, it makes you OP. B, I really like the way that his base looks compared to the other people's.
That's fair.
I think it works. Plus, I think that it makes sense for that game's kind of story too. So,
we'll find that out later. It's on my list of games to play.
Yeah, it's going to be a little while before we get there, but yeah, it's going to happen at some point.
Alright, so my number 2 for Gen 1 is going to be Jolteon. I felt obligated to pick an evolution because I have one in my party every single playthrough, and I went out of my way to always collect the cards when I was doing that. But a couple of things came together for Jolteon for me. One, the Team Rocket cards.
Mm-hmm.
The Jolteon artwork on that was my favorite of them. Although I liked all of them, I thought the Team Rocket artwork was far better than the original.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But the Jolteon one where he's arching up and looks like a scared cat and just shooting electricity out, oh my fucking god, did I love that. But I also really love the speed stat when I'm playing the games. I like hitting first, and I like the electricity moveset. I've always had just sort of that going towards my team. So Jolteon really worked out. I have nothing negative about Jolteon. He doesn't exactly have the best moveset in the game.
Sure.
But, no Pokemon has the best moveset in the game.
Right.
Except for Mew. Cheating bastard.
Yeah, piece of shit.
Yeah.
So Bobby picked the second best evolution. I picked the best evolution. Vaporeon's my number 2. For some reason, I've always really liked Vaporeon's design, but even more than that, Vaporeon always becomes my MVP when I play through Leaf Green. I have no idea why, but somehow, like, my starter kind of carries me through things. I've got, like, a decent team in general, but with Leaf Green and Fire Red, it's not like you can exactly use the other generation Pokemon in there, because even if you hack them in, they don't evolve until you have the Ruby and Sapphire thing in the game. It specifically wants you to only use Kanto Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always found that I end up with an Eevee, as everyone does, but I always end up going Vaporeon. Now, I've used the others in the past. Flareon, everyone knows Flareon sucks, but Jolteon's fine. But for some reason, Vaporeon always just comes in and wrecks everything for me.
Vaporeon definitely has more survivability than
Yeah.
Jolteon.
And I really like Vaporeon in general. I like his design. I like everything. And speaking of the Pokemon VHS tapes, I had the one with the Eevee brothers. I don't know if you remember that one. There was a little kid who had an Eevee, and he had 3 older brothers, each who had...
That's right.
They all looked like their evolution, and they were all pressuring him to go for one. And I always thought, oh yeah, you should just go for Vaporeon, because it's the right choice.
No, just stick with Eevee. Eevee's cute enough, man.
Yeah, also true. And in Pokemon Let's Go, very OP.
Yeah. But my number 1,
Mhm.
and to a lot of people this wouldn't come as a surprise, it's got to be Gengar.
Yeah.
I have always loved Gengar. I always go out of my way to get on my team. I have to hunt somebody down and be like, hey, let me trade my hunter, let me trade it back, because I want my fucking Gengar. Okay? I love him. I've always had a very good fascination with the ghost type. I love his design. I love how creepy he gets, especially in like the show and stuff like that. He's awesome. I love him so much.
I liked Haunter better in the show, personally.
Well, you can go suck a dick.
He had a lot more personality.
Plus, he is one chubby boy.
That's true.
I appreciate that.
I really like Shiny Mega Gengar in Gen 6.
Yeah. Okay.
It is real good looking.
But even in the later games, I'll go out of my way to try and get a Gengar if I can. And I love when I'm doing like IV training and all that stuff, going to the Haunted Mansion and going through all the Ghastlies and Hunters and all that stuff. So that whole tree, I really, really, really like. The Gengar especially. He's my number 1.
Yeah, makes sense. My number 1. It's not propaganda. It's Bulbasaur. And I kind of waffled back and forth if it was going to be Bulbasaur or Ivysaur because I really love them both basically equally.
Yeah.
But in the end, I ended up giving it to Bulbasaur because I really just love Bulbasaur. I mean, he's number 1 in the Dex and number 1 in my heart, as he should be. And he's definitely just the best pick for starter. Like, that's not even close. As a kid, I was an idiot. I did that thing that everyone else does. Oh, I'm going to pick Charmander. I was fucking wrong. Bulbasaur makes you OP. Bulbasaur makes you fucking... catch everything super easily because of all of the powders and things like that. Just the best. I really like his design, and I really like the way Ash's Bulbasaur is in the anime. Yeah, just in general, I think Bulbasaur is growing in popularity as he should be.
And we really like the animation in Detective Pikachu for Bulbasaur.
Yes, it's adorable.
Totally cute.
And I got a Bulbasaur plushie in my car. Hangs out on my dashboard.
And at work.
I have an Ivysaur at work.
Oh,
the crocheted
okay.
Ivysaur, yeah. Yeah. Also great. Made by a friend's girlfriend. It's very good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so if you don't like Bulbasaur, what's wrong with you? Fix your life.
Okay, that's a bit harsh.
No.
Oh, I guess not. So yeah, that's knocking out Gen 1 for us.
Yeah, any honorable mentions?
All of them?
All of them. Yeah.
Like...
Except for one. There is one Pokemon that okay, there were like 2 or 3 Pokemon that I despise, but the first Pokemon I ever hated actually shares the same typing as Bulbasaur. And that's Gloom. I have no reason for hating Gloom. None whatsoever. But as far back as I can remember, I have hated that cum-guzzling piece of shit. I don't know why. I fucking hate Gloom. No problem with Oddish, Blossom, or Vileplume. Specifically Gloom. I've got like 3 of them in my box that are named like enemy. I fucking hate Gloom. I have no idea why. I don't know what it is about Gloom.
So I don't know what his fucking problem is, but I love all of Gen 1. It's amazing to me, and it's what I grew up with the cards initially, because that's how I got into Pokemon. I didn't play the games actually till Gen 3.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know. So I have a unique fascination with all of Gen 1. I think all of them are amazing. I think they are by far the best designs in the games. I have no complaints. These just happen to be my top 3. And it's a tough choice, but I've been asked this question so many times, because when you're in the Pokemon community, what's your favorite? And then you have to make a list in your head, and then they always narrow it down. Well, what about this gen? Blah, blah, blah. So if I didn't already have it in, it'd be a much harder decision.
Right.
But yeah, I love all of them. I don't know what your problem is with Gloom, you gloomy bastard.
I hate Gloom.
But yeah, alright, so now time for the fan interaction bit. Let us know what you think of our choices. If you think they're terrible, let us know. That's fine, you're entitled to your wrong opinion. But more importantly, we want to see what yours are. It's all about just enjoying the Pokemon world, so I want to know what you guys enjoy. What's your favorite?
I think with the exception of Mr. Mime, we picked pretty regularly chosen favorite types from Gen 1.
Okay.
I think that you'll find that we'll be different in the future. So that's going to be interesting. Little tantalizing bits.
Yeah.
I think that we have different favorites from the other generations, is specifically what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
But, you know, people generally like the starters and the evolutions and things like that. And Cubone, obviously. So this one might feel, I've seen this video 1,000 times, but we'll see. We'll see. Next time, Johto.
Yes.
See you then.
Thanks so much, guys.
Gotta catch them all.